World Breastfeeding Week. It is so inspiring if we meet a mother who's really breastfed not for just 1 year, 2 years. Akanksha, how many years?
5.5 years.
5.5 years. It's nothing impossible. And what are the benefits of breastfeeding? What were the challenges? ऐसा नहीं होता है कि किसी को कोई challenge face नहीं होता. Even when she's a working woman, she's managing so much, doing so much work. Still she managed to pull it through because there was some real advantage जो आपको दिख रहा होगा आकांक्षा. So how do you now, what is your message to all the women who are getting scared, getting feeling tortured? I'm using that word because that is the way
We
they
all
tell.
do. I think just like any other mother, I had no idea how the journey will begin. How will the milk supply happen? In fact, I still remember the first night when Samira, when she was born, we had to move her to the NICU because she had jaundice, and I was wondering, will I be able to feed her? What is happening? What am I supposed to do? And then began a journey of discovery. I would put it like that because I
Okay.
think um, with time I realized what she needed, how she needed, what was I feeling, and of course there are a lot of other things going on in our body, in our mind when we go back home, and we are also giving our body rest. But I think breastfeeding is an exceptionally natural process of understanding yourself and your child. And first, let me put it out there: there is no right or wrong. Someone who feeds and someone who is not able to feed for a certain period because of the joint back work is also a choice. But someone who wants to feed for longer years is also a choice. Because honestly, I was told many times that I was probably not at the right path because it was too long. 5.5 years is a long, long time. But I think it is one of the most natural things that happen. And while we were in that journey, I was traveling. I was taking her to work conferences. I in fact joined back work in 1 month. So of course there were a lot of challenges to continue because we were in the middle of you know client meetings, and I had to excuse and say I need to go to the boardroom to feed, and they had to switch off the cameras, and I've done that too.
Hmm.
But I just felt that when you put it out there and say that this is what I need, everybody understands, and they believe that this is important because it's important to you. So I think I of course have seen her touch wood, don't want to jinx it, but she had coped up with a lot of situation changes because she's traveled a lot. So when babies travel, they fall sick and there's a challenge, but with her it was smooth. We could do many trips together, and the relationship, I think I still miss that face when she used to look at me, and I don't think I was ready to wean her off while she probably was. So yeah, I mean, I had thought like just any other mother, 3 months, 6 months, and the first 3 weeks were just so terrible because you're waking up at like every hour, and
That
you're
is
not
very
even, you're
important.
sleeping, and
Yes.
so I did not even know how to sort of channelize my energy. But I think once you begin to enjoy it,
Yes.
I really enjoyed. I think I have to say that probably it was not just her; it was me as well who used to look forward to our feeds. That moment, that time that I had only with her, uh, I will keep it very very special to my life, and I think I would remember a lot out of it until I'm alive. And I think we fed on beaches, we fed in malls, we breastfed in trains, we breastfed in aeroplanes, of course. I don't think I've breastfed her everywhere. And it's been
Yeah.
a challenge because there were a lot of eyes out there. But I
But you
always
took the
said
support.
this was my baby's food.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
cannot be, doing it because someone else is okay or not okay with it. So I just say it's a choice, ma'am, that you need to, I mean, you make, and to each to its own.
Yes.
But I think we should not ridicule any mother who's breastfeeding beyond couple of years. I know people who've even breastfed up to 9 or 10 years also,
Okay.
and there's nothing wrong in it. It's totally your journey, how you feel about it, and of course, I think the milk that the mother makes, if you ask anybody in this world, that is the purest form of milk. I mean, there's no question about that for sure. It's just we don't know when do we need to stop, what we need to do, but to all mothers, just listen to your heart, and when you think it's right, do it then. And happy breastfeeding week.
And this time, the slogan Akanksha is breastfeeding for all. That is the slogan. So whether you are in a hospital, whether you are in a train, whether you are in a plane, whether you are at work, your neighbors, everybody needs to be supporting breastfeeding
Ma'am
mothers.
knows I've had a journey of many operations, surgeries, COVID. We never
Yes,
stopped.
yes, we
I
never
even fed
stopped.
her in dengue. So
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's been a little challenging, but I think
It's worth it because
it's
now you can look back and you can feel happy, contented, and proud, and you can see that in your child that how secure and
yeah. I
protected
mean,
she
people
feels.
think that when kids breastfeed, they are clingy, they get dependent. I think it's
Mm.
opposite.
Yeah, yeah,
They become so confident, they
yeah,
become so secured.
yeah. That is
I
what I
I
say.
don't think that is a correlation one should do, that kids get attached, or they get attached in the right way. They understand. And also I think when the child is born, the connection is with the mother, right? The heart, when that beats, you feel that. So it's the same with breastfeeding. Of course, when you do it, you're emotional about it. But I think even if you're working, you have situations, you just have to ask for a
And then the whole
solution.
thing will be created
Of course,
for
I
you. Yeah,
I think
that is
when
what I think many women want to, but they don't have that mind to ask. So that is why I said this week, let us share this inspiring
ma'am, see,
story so that everybody
honestly,
can arrange it.
post 9 months and 1 year, kids don't breastfeed every hour.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
breastfeed once at night, 2 times a day,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's very
Very
doable,
doable. Yeah,
very doable
yeah.
with work, with travel. I
Yes.
think it's a myth that you have to stop when you start working.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, there are challenges. You have to have
You
supportive
have to
workplace,
create
you have to
everything.
have
Yeah,
supportive
yeah.
family, but then you have to ask for it first.
Yes, yes,
If you
yes.
don't put
It
it
will be
out there that this
created.
is important to me, nobody will care about it, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
if you say this is what is important, this is what I need for myself, I think people do understand. And yeah, and then there is absolutely no right and wrong here.
Perfect. I think we would not have had a more inspiring story. So many women listening out, they really need to understand. करना है. क्यों करना है? Because it is important, and you have to create that whole environment around you. You will have to ask and be confident. When the child is crying, when somebody is telling you your milk is not enough, just remember what Akanksha just told you.
Oh,
That is, I think, that's very important.
it's a myth.
Yeah.
Honestly, and sometimes your child doesn't even need more milk. They will get what they need. That's how it works. And it's, sometimes oversupply,
Yeah.
thinking that my child is not getting enough. You feed, you give formula, you give
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
top
And then you
up,
keep on moving in
and you
that
realize
only.
your
Yeah.
child is enjoying, but you're actually overstuffing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Breastfeeding
This is what I tell
children,
everybody, Akanksha.
breastfeeding children know what they, like my daughter literally knew this is what she wanted. And watch out for those chats they do with you when they feed. They'll
Wow,
start
so
asking,
nice.
talking, and yeah. So
It's
I leave it
beautiful.
to mothers, but it's really fun when they start understanding. Of course, 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But to just do it because someone else tells that, someone else tells us that your child is not getting enough. The child is not looking good enough. The child is
Not
not
getting
looking
weight,
healthy,
yeah,
not
it's
getting weight,
okay.
height nahi बढ़ रही. You have to really not take that. I think breastfeeding children are super strong. There's no more strength than milk that you give them. So I think
Absolutely.
it's sub myth. I mean, I got it all that this is not happening because obviously they are little lean, but they're super strong. So
Yeah, absolutely, Akanksha. Thank you so much.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me. Thank you.